The Me Too movement started off as a good idea, which is people should come forward when they're assaulted. And I still maintain they should do that, but they should do it right away and go forward to the police, not do it years later to the media or whatever. But, you know, baby steps and all that, because what happened is it quickly devolved into a witch trial where people were just accusing men for, and actually falsely in a lot of situations, and ruining their lives as a result of that. And we saw with the Johnny Depp case where he was completely exonerated in the public eye because it came to find out in the trial that Amber Heard was actually the abuser in the relationship. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't have the notoriety as Johnny Depp, so a lot of men, their stories don't get told. And now we get this information coming out from Vin Diesel where he's being accused of assaulting an assistant of his back in 2010. And I'm not saying that these accusations aren't necessarily accurate. It's just there's not a whole lot of information to go by with this story. A former assistant to Vin Diesel sued the actor on Thursday, alleging that in 2010 he pinned her against the wall in a hotel suite and masturbated in front of her. First of all, I'm kind of confused about the logistics of this alleged attack, because it says he pinned her against the wall and then did that to himself. What was he doing? Because you would think pinning someone against the wall, you would need both hands, but maybe he just needed one hand, held both hands with one. I mean, he's a big guy. He can probably do that. So he holds it with one hand, then he has an extra hand free to, you know, do the rest of the stuff. I don't know. I mean, these are just the kind of questions I think of when I hear about these allegations, but it says this happened back in 2010 when he was filming Fast Five. And at the time they were filming in Atlanta, where he invited her back to his hotel room, and for some reason she went back to the hotel room with him. And at this point, she says he forced her on the bed, then tried to, you know, do other stuff to her. I'm not going to read out because I don't really like reading this kind of stuff out loud. And then she tried to escape, and that's when he pinned her against the wall and did the rest of this attack. And according to this lawsuit, it was by Asta Jonasson, that's the assistant. This is what she said. Miss Jonasson was unable to escape and closed her eyes, scared of angering Vin Diesel by rejecting him further and trying to disassociate, wishing the assault would end. A couple hours after the alleged assault, Asta Jonasson said that she was contacted by Samantha Vincent, who's Vin Diesel's sister, and also the president of his production company, so that she could fire her. Now, Jonasson's saying that she believes she was fired because she rejected Vin Diesel in this matter, but this is a accusation that Vin Diesel obviously denies having happened. Brian Friedman, Vin Diesel's lawyer, made a statement on the matter, and this is what he had to say. Let me be very clear. Vin Diesel categorically denies this claim in its entirety. This is the first he has ever heard about this more than 13-year-old claim made by a purportedly 9-day employee. There was clear evidence which completely refutes these outlandish allegations. Friedman never says what this very clear evidence actually is, but he's a lawyer. He's not going to show his whole hand this early in the game. They say they have evidence that refutes it, then fine, I'll reserve judgment until I see all the evidence. Like most situations, I take a innocent until proven guilty approach. Now, this is Hollywood, so I really wouldn't be surprised one way or the other, because I can see a situation where Vin Diesel, being a big actor that he is, could think that he could just do this to a lowly assistant and nothing would come of it. But at the same time, I can see her being a new assistant on a big movie like this, and he's a big actor, so she maybe tries to seduce him, he rejects her, and then gets fired for unprofessional behavior and makes these accusations years later. And it says here, Jonasson filed a sexual battery lawsuit under California's Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act, a 2022 law that created a 1-year window to file certain suits that would otherwise be outside the statute of limitations. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm kind of confused why this is being filed under a California law, because the alleged incident took place in Atlanta. So I would think this would have to be filed under a Georgia law and not a California one, but maybe because it was a production from the company that was based out of California that it's filed under a California law. I don't know. And another situation I think is a little funny with this is just that it's being filed now and not 13 years ago when the incident supposedly happened. Now, this is what I think with a lot of other Me Too claims. When they're not actually going to the police later on, but they're seeking money years down the road, I have to have some questions about the motive behind this. Like, did it really happen? Or are you just kind of down on your luck and you're trying to get cash flow because you have an incident you might be able to exploit or something like that? And I'm not saying that that's what's going on now, but I am kind of suspicious over the timing of this incident, because fortunately she has kind of a unique name, so I was able to pull her up on IMDb. So Asta Jonasson, you can see here she's listed as additional crew assistant to producer. So it kind of checks out with what we know about the story, not to mention there's these related news articles about her. So you can rest assured this is the same person. And I was able to find her LinkedIn based off all this. I mean, same picture and everything, director of development, creative executive. And in the years since then, she's been working for the Disney company, basically this job. But in the last year and a half, she's been a freelancer. Now, freelancers could obviously do really well. Freelancer doing this type of work, working in Los Angeles, maybe she's doing okay. But I'm just kind of curious, is she possibly just down on her luck and she's looking for easy money right now? And that's why she's filing this lawsuit, just hoping that he would settle to make it go away? I mean, it's possible. I mean, for her, if she doesn't have much money, maybe it's like just settle for $250,000. It'd be nothing to Vin Diesel and it'd be a lot for her. And maybe that's the situation. I don't know. This is just me speculating right now. I have no reason to necessarily doubt her, but I also have no reason to trust her allegation in this situation either. So I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see what it, or if any new evidence comes forward on this matter. But until then, just let me know what you think about this in the comment section below, because me personally, I can see it going either way.